Hello, Rama. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you for joining us for a spotlight special for International Women's Day. So, shall we start the interview?
Absolutely. I'm ready.
Great. What's your current role at Google Cloud?
I'm the managing director for Google Cloud in Southeast Asia. I cover some of the most exciting countries in the world, including Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, and the Philippines.
Do you prefer working from the office or working from home?
I prefer both, actually. And this hybrid way of working is really aligned to what I want to structure in my life in terms of work. So, for example, at home, I really enjoy the distraction-free focus time for things like understanding strategy and really thinking about complex customer problems. But then I love going into the office to be with my colleagues, to do some team building, to really build some deep personal relationships, but then also to do that collaborative problem solving so that we can really get that quality time together.
What's the first thing you do when you start your work?
Well, the first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning before I start work is say hello to my dog Hachi, who's a Japanese Spitz and been with us now for many, many years, and also to make sure that my teenage daughter gets off to school on time.
What does inclusion mean to you?
Inclusion means a sense of belonging where everyone, regardless of age, gender, color, disability, and location, can thrive. And through that sense of inclusion, I really love building communities and workplaces where everyone can be successful.
How do you relieve stress?
I've been in Singapore for 15 years now, and as everyone knows, Singapore is a city in a garden. So to decompress, what I love to do is to take 90-minute to 2-hour walks 4 or 5 times a week across some of the nearby parks near my home.
Best piece of advice you have received?
The adage, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, has never been truer than today. So what I always tell people is the piece of advice that I was given early in my career, which is to say yes to roles that seem outside your comfort zone. So instead of thinking that you're unqualified, reflect instead on what you can contribute and how you can leverage your skills in a completely new area. And by doing that, you'll have the opportunity to build even further on your next career journey.
What does leadership mean to you?
Leadership to me means servant leadership, because my role wouldn't exist without the team that I lead. And I love this idea of servant leadership because it really focuses on making my employees successful. So thinking about their growth, making sure that I'm coaching them appropriately, and making sure that they're fulfilled in their roles.
Finish the statement. An equitable workplace for me is
one where all employees feel heard and recognized, and where leaders are agile in responding to every employee's most pressing needs and concerns.
Empowering more women to reach pole position in tech will require
taking concrete steps to drive representation at all leadership levels, and ensuring that all women can look up and around and see others like them.
As a leader, I will empower women at the workplace by
I'm very proud that we've built such a diverse team at Google Cloud in Southeast Asia, at the regional level and at all levels within the organization. So I want to ensure that women, first of all, have an equal voice in meetings and decision making. Number 2, have the ability to extend themselves and try new roles within the organization. And number 3, have access to formal sponsorship programs that are so important for their advancement.
How many cups of coffee or tea do you drink on average per day?
My daughter placed a bet with me about 4 years ago that I couldn't give up coffee, and I won. So as a result of that, I am a tea drinker. I drink about 3 to 4 cups of tea a day, and I tend to gravitate towards masala chai and peppermint tea.
What's that one challenge that you want to solve for the world and society?
Southeast Asia is a diverse, vibrant, and incredible home to more than 650 million people. And I feel that my responsibility as a technologist is to ensure that everyone has not only the capability, but also the opportunity to access and embrace technology so that we can bridge the digital divide.
one piece of advice you want to give to fellow leaders on International Women's Day?
I would say that context is incredibly important when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's really important to be conscious that everyone is working in a different environment and situation. And as leaders, we have to seriously consider how we can reimagine the way in which we work to be more inclusive to those who are parents or caregivers, or for employees who need to be closer to their families.
Thank you, Rama, for joining us today.